Found something cool I want to show you guys before we get started here. I hope you're okay with that. Is the audio okay? Audio good? I want to show you guys something I found that I thought was pretty neat. Thought was pretty cool. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Fucking thing. Alright. Let me show you guys what I found.
Oh non, c'est pas possible. Même épuisé et affamé, il n'arrête jamais. Il y en a pas un pour rattraper l'autre dans cette équipe. C'est pas nouveau. Bon, éteins, j'aimerais bien pouvoir dormir maintenant. Attends, j'ai pas fini. Non! Tout de suite! Avec tout le respect que je te dois, princesse, tu pourrais quand même te montrer un peu plus agréable.
This is good stuff.
Pas à montrer agréable avec mon garde du corps! Surtout quand il raconte à tout le monde qu'on m'appelait princesse bouffe-tout!
This one's for you, BB. This is for BB. Shout out to BB.
C'est princesse.
I am the storm that is approaching.
That was for you, BB. That one was for you, buddy. Hope you appreciated that. It goes out to BB and all the motivated folks out there. Okay. Speaking of stuff that I found entertaining, I also found this. Before I can start on the serious stuff. Before it gets serious. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. All right, so there's this. I guess, I mean, would it be considered a TikToker or whatever? I don't know. They've been around a while. Fucking stupid mouse. Point is, I like some of their videos. This one's actually pretty good. Some of you might enjoy. Fucking, but my cursor disappeared for some goddamn reason. Hold on. Wow, that's cool. There, now it's back. Alright, we got the video. Alright, cool. Check this out. I thought this was fun.
I've gotta get away and let you go. I've gotta get over. But I love you so. I love you so. I love you so. I love you so. I'm gonna pack my things and leave you behind. This feeling's old and I know that I've made up my mind. I hope you feel what I felt when you shattered my soul. 'Cause you were cruel and I'm a fool. So please let me go. But I love you.
Yeah, I appreciated that one. I thought that was a fun one. I thought that was a fun video. Oh, nobody's saying shit in chat. Look at that. No responses. Oh, there we go. Doom Sheep. Can you manage the voice levels? Gotta turn it up to hear you, then turn it down to not wake my neighbors when you're playing the video. Oh, shit. Well, I'm not gonna be playing any more videos. Sorry. Kidding. Sorry, Doom Sheep. I'm not gonna play any more videos. I suck at managing things. I'm a fucking old boomer. What do you want from me? I'm not expecting, you're trying to hide your goddamn audio from your neighbors. They're gonna like probably be dicks and get crazy just because there's some fucking sound coming out. God damn it. Doom Sheep, you need to put on some headphones. Like the rest of us. Put on some headphones. Then you ain't gotta worry about that shit. Doom Sheep. Alright. Just fucking with you, man. Alright. Did you like that, BB? Did you like the first video, BB? Was that something you liked? Was that something that motivated you? Did you feel motivated? Were you being motivated? Were you being motivated? I can't continue with the stream unless I get a response from BB. Since I'm always looking for BB's approval. I don't care, really, but the song is good. Oh, look at BB. Doesn't care. Damn. I tried, though. I tried to please you, baby, but it just didn't work. Anyway, so the poll question I asked today was, what was the poll question? Did I get booted off of? Oh, wonderful, I did. Oh, hold on one second, guys. Sorry, guys, my 2-year-old just like runs in here and starts screaming and trying to get my attention. Look at me! Look at me! I was joking around with my wife. It reminded me of, for you older folks out there, Stuart from Mad TV way back when. There was like a kid that was like, "Look what I could do!" And he used to do some like weird twitch. You know, just some kid trying to get your attention. Right now, my 2-year-old's going through like a stage where like she's like, "Look what I can do!" Just, you know, everything is discovery for her, so she wants to share it. So I can't help but find it charming. I was looking for this specific when I was searching for that in the store. I was looking for that one in particular. I like it. It's from a show called Lock Food. The storm is approaching. Yeah, it's a Lock Food one. It's like that one. I've been really enjoying those memes as they pop up, especially like the more lewd the scene is, the more the impact of Virgil status. That's pretty fun. I know I'm just some boomer with old memes that nobody cares about, and it is a good song. It is a very catchy song. Apparently, I did learn when I was looking up the song that the creator, the composer of the song, is like a fan of stuff like black metal, and so like there's some like prog metal, prog metal. So that's why it's like a fucking pretty hefty, long song. So he's got some prog metal influences in there. Anyway. Okay. Gusto. I don't know if I don't think he's the singer. I don't know if he's the singer. The guy who like wrote the song is the singer that composed it. I don't know. I don't know enough about that. I just know that the guy who composed the song, created the song, is a fan of prog metal. And so that's why it has that kind of long, drawn-out intro, sort of inspiration from like prog metal type shit. Okay. So in the poll, which I wanted to see, I asked how many of you actually research your cluster A action. I closed that fucking window because I'm stupid. So let's look right now. Okay, so I got 15 votes. 67% said yes. 33% said no. Out of 15. Okay. That's interesting. Hmm. So when I asked it, I'm hoping that the people answer that have a diagnosis, and that is cluster A. Otherwise, they're probably just threw the whole thing off, and there's like no way for me to control that. So, but hopefully, somebody that is cluster A and has a diagnosis, those 15 people are the ones that actually voted. There's no way to verify any of that, but there's not much to research. It is what it is, and you can't do much about it. Damn, the black pills, Dave Dog. Dropping black pills. Sorry, Dave Dog. I'm gonna go have drink a bottle of Epicac and get that black pill out of my system. I have too many other black pills in my system. The you can't do anything much about it is one of the black pills I regurgitate, good sir. Many black pills. One of them is not the thought that schizoid or any cluster A pathology, quote unquote, is permanent. That is not one of them. But I also don't think it's some. There has to be a separation between the cognition and the pathology. Pathology can be overcome. The cognition is just who you fucking are. And overcoming that might fundamentally change who you are as an individual. Neurodivergent and all. That is my opinion. But in any case, the reason I asked that question is because I find it particularly important to study or just do a little bit of cursory research about whatever it is you're getting diagnosed with. Especially in the case of a very understudied or under-researched topic, a misunderstood topic. And the reason for that is because, well, okay, imagine you have a bunch of clinical psychologists and doctors, everybody, news articles being written about what the fuck it is that you are, like, you know, your PD that you've been diagnosed with, this big important thing. Hey, any of you play MKX? I don't know what that is. But point is, there's this big component about who you are as a person, and people are doing research on it and writing studies and articles and all kinds of shit, right? And if you never bother reading what it is they're saying about you, or they're saying about the diagnosis, not you, but they're saying about your diagnosis, part of the problem is that, well, they might be saying the wrong things, and you wouldn't know it. And if you don't have, like, with Schizoid, obviously a community is not normally a thing. And if you don't have a community in order to reality check some of those studies and some of that stuff that's going out, well, who is actually, like, comparing notes here, right? If the person that is dealing with said condition is not looking into their very condition, what if they're getting a few things wrong, right? And nothing is being looked at by the very people who suffer or deal with it. And so that if they don't have an influence on, you know, the descriptors or the manner in which some of this stuff is being developed, the information, the data is being distributed, well, guess what? They're gonna probably oftentimes get a couple things wrong, and they're just gonna run with it because it sounds good, or it makes sense to them. That might not be a good thing. That might not be a good thing. So I implore those of you that have some kind of cluster A condition, or have been diagnosed, you know, whether it's paranoid or schizotypal or schizoid, something in the schizophrenia spectrum, do some research, do some reading, look up articles, look up PDFs, look up some studies, see what they are saying about what you do. I just spilled something. Not much, but still annoying. You know how that be. You want to look at what they're saying, because if they're not saying the right things, and then in your community, if you built one, you guys are going, wait a minute, what? I'm confused. Like, why are they saying this? Like, that we experience this, or we go through this, or this is the reason we do this. And I've been going to, like, my own psychologist for, like, X amount of years. And we've come to the conclusion that that's not why I do those things, and that's not what motivates me. So either well, maybe my diagnosis is wrong, but then when you check with a lot of other people that have the same diagnosis, you start going, uh-oh, maybe they're getting something off here, right? So that's definitely something to think about, right? Think about. I would say it'd be the same for a lot of medical stuff, right? Like if symptom wise, right? If for some reason people are self-reporting symptoms of a specific rare disease or whatever, you want to look at that research and you want to build a community, because then you guys can compare notes and go, okay, they're saying we're feeling like this, but we're not, or we're doing it for this reason, or this part of our body hurts, if it was more of a medical thing, but it isn't, it's this part. And so then, reporting that and saying something about it could help in that research, could help in the ability to figure this shit out, right? And if everyone is just sitting back going, well, they know better, they got the big paper, they know better, and nobody's fucking reporting anything or saying, hey, me and fucking 30 other, 40 other or more people that are diagnosed with this condition are going, this is weird, or this seems off. Maybe you should look into it more. That might be of value. That's my fucking opinion on that. And I can't imagine. I mean, I can hear arguments about why, you can't listen to the patient. Okay, I'm not saying fucking base everything on the patient's, that's dealing with this, diagnosed pathology or whatever, just go off of what they're saying. It's insane. But the description of their own symptoms and their own issues and the reason why they feel they're doing the things that they are doing, that stuff is important. That's relevant information. Okay? And I just think schizoids were meant to be wizards or scholars locked in their ivory towers working on something they love doing. I cannot find any other genetic rationale behind the condition. I can think of more complex rationales there, but you're close there, Dave. You're close there, Dave. We are definitely meant to be the wizards and clerics and priests and what have you of our species. I find out I had schizoid disorder, or just like, devout, odd researchers. I find it out I had schizoid disorder because my mom works as a behavioral technician on kids and adults with schizophrenia. She also has a bunch of books on the mental health disorders that I read. Cool. Awesome. That is a good way to find out. And what's funny is that, in my opinion, they often get a lot of this shit right. Okay. But when back, like, let's just say a year ago, right, when I would look at some of this stuff they were saying about schizoid and some of the research and some of the, some of the symptoms they're describing, when it would get to the why, when it would get to the point where it starts saying why they're dealing with this shit, that's when I would start parsing shit, right? Like, that's when I would start going, wait a minute, what the fuck? No. And then I thought, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not schizoid or some shit, right? Maybe it's all fucked up. Maybe they gave me the wrong diagnosis. And then I started creating this community, and I started talking to more people that are diagnosed, and so on and so forth. And they started going, no, that's not true. That's off. That's how I feel, but that's not why I feel it. It's like a lot of this shit's off. And I'm like, okay, that's all for the same reasons. So a lot of this information started getting kind of corroborated almost between multiple people. And the longer I do this, the longer I keep going, the more it seems to be the case. Dave Dodge, I mean, look at me. I'm independently wealthy. I work all the time indoors, not speaking to anyone for weeks. I'm perfectly content. If you talk to me, I seem like anyone else, pleasant, etc. When I force myself to go to clubs, etc., socialize, or force myself into gatherings, I just walk back home from the feeling very shitty usually. And I would too, Dave Dog, though I'm not independently wealthy. But maybe one day I will attempt this. I don't want to be wealthy. I just want to do enough so I can do this for a living. I don't want to be wealthy. I don't give a shit about being wealthy. I have friends that do, but I really don't. In any case, yeah, I would walk back from a place like that and feel totally shitty as well, Dave. But I think the only difference is even if I were not like, and this is what I hear from a lot of schizoids, right? Even if I were not forced to do social things, right? Let's just say I was given, enough money to where I could stay home and do whatever I wanted, right? There would still be something there. Oh, I know. I get it, Dave. I did all kinds of work with people. It is hell. But the question becomes, why is it hell? Right. But anyway, you spend all this time even away from people, and there's something missing. There's something empty. There's an existential component that makes you feel just like, fuck, what's going on? Fuck. Why is there this, like, why am I still depressed? Why am I still dealing with these weird problems? Why am I still occasionally having existential issues? Why is it just because of the human condition? Is it because everything's so inherently meaningless? Blah blah blah. You start going into these circles, right? So on and so forth. I think most schizoids I've talked to, even the ones that like say are more low functioning and don't have to participate in a lot of masking, are still very very unhappy for entirely different reasons, right? A lot of the masking ones aren't happy because of what you described there, Dave. But a lot of the ones that aren't masking and they're like, say, at home, or they have a situation where, hold on, sorry guys, baby. Can you close the door? All right. So, sorry. My 2-year-old's going night night. Let's tell me. So I think what happens is the ones that are like low functioning and don't actually do the whole masking thing. They end up dealing with a different kind of hell, right? And it's a kind of hell that the masking ones sometimes deal with when they're by themselves. But because they get so much relief about being by themselves, they oftentimes don't get to really experience this other kind of hell as much because they don't have the opportunity to. Yeah, feeling ego dystonic. There you go. Yeah, the ego dystonic portion is exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, Anthony. Brennan, can you explain masking? Yeah, it's just the front you put up. Every human being has a persona of some kind or another, but the difference is that the various personas that a human being generally puts up is in congruence with what they need from their environment, and oftentimes they receive a reward from that environment by presenting it, or a sense of safety, or whatever it is, depending on the conditions. And so many times they just integrate it as a part of who they are in many respects. Even if they're kind of aware that it's a mask, it doesn't bother them too much because it oftentimes has rewards. In the case of the schizoid, those masks that you put up in order to socialize and in social context don't have a reward, right? You oftentimes end up feeling like shit, regardless. Nothing compensating for the energy that's put out from having to mask. Merely the only compensation is waiting for the next moment you get to be alone again, right? And I think that occurs because the people that most schizoid deal with are people that can't understand them and don't that are neurotypical and don't understand what the fuck it is they're going through in any capacity, and have fundamentally different values and priorities because of that reason, similarly to how an autistic person has entirely different values and priorities to a neurotypical person. Okay. So, in any case, and I'm not basing this off just my own experiences, I base this off the experiences of so many countless others at this point that I've talked to. Okay. And others, who I've never talked to but have posted their experiences in various places. this before making a decision to go on to a job corp and employee and see. I think schizoids are home. I'm asking you, dealing with time wasters out there are still unhappy because they ain't got no purpose to reject this. Nah, it's a little deeper than that, Dave. Because I have a purpose and objective. I'm still miserable. That part of that is that's the pathological portion. Like that's the portion that is the portion that needs therapy. The portion in which you have your preoccupations that supersede the interpersonal. That's the portion that is normal, or not well normal to you. That's your kind of neurodivergence. In many respects. So I think there is a fundamental difference there to be discussed. That's my stupid, dumb, loser opinion. In fact, socially acceptable life meanings are so alienating for Zoids play a big role. Yeah, exactly. Like socially acceptable life meanings are big amongst neurotypical people because they actually are motivated by those things. Socially acceptable life meanings are not motivating to the average schizoid because that's not what motivates them. In fact, they oftentimes don't even know what motivates them because their local, circles unintentionally oftentimes have inhibited or disregarded what actually motivates them, which is oftentimes concepts, ideas, more abstract notions of all sorts of stuff about life is what oftentimes motivates them outside of the interpersonal, outside of the individual. And again, just basing it off everything I've discovered over the time I've been doing this and beyond. My own personal shit, of course. But, you don't have to believe me. Just keep going. In any case, so today, the reason I named this, I'm already going in 40 fucking minutes, I apologize. The reason I'm not really I don't really care. Why do I apologize? Goddamn stupid fucking automatic responses. I catch myself doing them all the time and they disgust me. Why would I be sorry? I'm doing a fucking stream on the internet. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, you do. Like, fuck off, right? Stupid. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what the fuck? This is free shit. Like, nobody's... Like, people are paying to listen to me. Like, what the fuck? I'm not providing some service that anyone... Like, well, some people are supporting, but no one's, like, paying specifically. Like, I'm not paywalling this shit, so... I got nothing to sorry. If once I have a paywall for something, then maybe I could be sorry for wasting people's time. But until then, fuck you. Deal with it. In any case, and if you're like, oh, that's rude, it's like, well, I guess you're in the wrong goddamn channel and in the wrong place. Because I'll tell you right now, most schizoids or other clustered peeps probably don't give a shit about stuff like that. And if you want to learn more about this, well, you gotta have to deal with some of that aloof/indifference because we have a solid reason to feel this way sometimes. And we don't perceive it as rudeness, we just perceive it as our everyday reality in many respects. So today, I want to read an article and maybe some studies and stuff because oftentimes I do the stream, I'm not really doing much of fucking anything. Just kind of fucking around, looking at whatever, and sometimes when I do a stream for like support, I want to do support, but rarely does anyone actually get on that needs support or wants to talk about their shit. And that's unfortunate because I like hearing about other schizoid peeps shit. Like I like hearing about it because whenever I hear it, I go, man, relatable. Okay, not relatable, but change the context a little bit and relatable. Shit like that, and it's therapy for me. It's therapeutic to other people that have similar issues, and it's also a good way to really understand what the fuck it is that's going on, and try to read between the lines when it comes to a lot of this stuff that's written about schizoids and other shit like that. Okay. No, yeah, well, at times I suppose the way that, yeah, we do introspect, well, our introspection is very different. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just very different, and our intuition toward specific things is very different. What about people who betray you, family, colleagues, so-called friends? Do you zoids out there get into rage, or do you let it slide and avoid it? I hold really bad grudges for life. I can hold a grudge, but my grudge doesn't really manifest into getting vengeance or revenge, unless it's incredibly bad. But I've never had that occur. Like nobody's like murdered someone I cared about or something, or destroyed something of great value to me. That where I'm just like, vengeance. Like, I must get my vengeance. Like nothing like that. But I can hold a grudge to where like I'll avoid or disassociate or just ghost a person or just not want to associate with them in any capacity. Right? I'll have those kind of grudges. I can develop a grudge where I'm just like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to see anything about you. You're fucking stupid. Like I don't want to deal with this shit. Well, I don't know about Dave. I don't know about that, Dave Dog. That might be peeking into a different world there, buddy. Most Zoids I talk to are, they might have their fantasies and stuff, and they're like, but they don't really, they're not the seeking revenge for every slight type. They're not really interested in that kind of shit. But hey, man, teach their own. Whatever. Just, if you did anything illegal, don't tell me about it. Okay, so no, there's plenty. You're doing it right now, Anthony. You have plenty inside of you you can introspect. So this is the first article I wanted to look at. One of the articles was something that was posted on the server. One of like two other ones I think are just ones that I found are recent. Okay, so I haven't read these. I just want to look over them and then just kind of respond. Do Schizoid reacts, I guess, to some of this shit. You know what? It's hurting my eyes. All right, guys, just give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Please don't leave. I just gotta get my blue light glasses because this shit's gonna give me a headache. Give me 1 sec. Thanks, Dave. No, I know schizoids that deal with like homords of BPD, NPD, other shit. They have other kind of emotional dysregulations. They have other kind of like anger issues and other shit like that. So, I mean, that's the thing. I'll tell you right now, most pure, I guess, just schizoids usually are pretty kind of stoic about a lot of shit. Or they rather avoid too much conflict and stuff like that. They just kind of go with the flow and just kind of try to keep their head down and just survive and just manage enough to find another time in which they can be left alone. They try not to do things that could actually pop their head out too much. That's most of them. Of course, you have others that do other types of things that can be considered to be like a little more dramatic in some respects or more emotional, but that's okay too. It's just comorbidities and other issues are a thing. It's not like, oh, you're schizoid, so you don't deal with anything else, or you never have episodes of other shit, right? And then on top of that, there's people that are schizoid, but they're also like schizotypal or have schizophrenia. So most of their, symptoms and issues are schizoid, but they also have positive symptoms. So, you know what I'm saying? They might have that stoic demeanor, but at the same time, they have positive symptoms like hallucinations. Sure. So it just kind of varies, right? That's why it's a schizophrenia spectrum. Like just schizoids usually don't deal with positive symptoms. They deal with all the negative symptoms that most people that do deal with positive symptoms have. Anyway, that's a whole different fucking ballpark. All right, let's read. I haven't read this, so I want to check it out. How to help an adult child with schizoid personality disorder. This is in 2019. I'm just curious to what they wrote. Schizoid personality disorder is a serious mental illness, but this is what's interesting. An adult child. First of all, that throws me off. I'm not too sure what that means. Before I continue, I want I want to hear what are your guys' what is that term supposed to mean? Just from the title, what is the term adult child supposed to mean? I'm wondering what that means. I'm not sure, to be honest. Is it somebody that's like not independent or self-sufficient enough? Is like, because that's what's funny. A lot of schizoids are highly self-sufficient. The motivated schizoids are self-sufficient in order to find as much alone time as possible. The more low-functioning, more severely depressed and anxious schizoids are not as what's the word? I lost my word. And so they do stuff like, live with their families or live under situations which are difficult, but at least they can like have certain things taken care of, so they don't have to do things like partake in society or have a job, shit like that. Like, I guess quote unquote needs. So neither one I shit on. I'm just saying, oftentimes it's really oftentimes one or the other. It's always like super self-sufficient for the purposes of being left alone, or unmotivated, not self-sufficient, but still finds a lot of time to be left alone because of the situation. It means you're a child who has grown up to become an adult. Okay, like stuck at home, some early development stage. Yeah, but there's stuck and some creepy family member trying to climb out of 120,000 euros. 127,000. I don't know, their inheritance or grandfather. Doom, she said adult child means 15 plus. Okay. So does it mean an adult that's stunted developmentally in some regard or another? Like, and how is that measured? Like, is it because they haven't gotten a girlfriend or married or jobs? Like, are we talking about just a NEET, like what they just call most NEETs, regardless of the reason, an adult child? Because that's kind of unfair and super shitty if that's the case. Because somebody can be a NEET for very, very like legitimate reasons. I know NEET sounds bad, but there's like legitimate reasons someone could be kind of a NEET. There's a lot of autistic people that especially if their autism is like mid-functioning, they can be kind of a NEET. Society's not exactly designed for them to fucking flourish, It just means that they're still a child, even though they're not, in general, a child anymore. Okay, yeah, so they're not biologically a child anymore, but somehow psychologically they are. I don't like the term, but I would think of an overdependence. Okay, cool. It's just, it's kind of absurd. It already bothers me, but anyway. Oh, and by the way, Dave, I'm gonna go ahead and try to con you out of money too. So if, speaking of money, kidding, but speaking of money, if you like my streams, if you like what I talk about, if you like my videos that I upload, if you hate my streams or like my videos, or like my videos and hate my streams, that's the same thing. Or like my streams and hate my videos. Did I ever say that? I don't know. Or whatever else, and you want to support the Schizoid community sort of project I'm creating, the server, the Zoid Void, anything else that I'm working on and attempting, please try to support me on Patreon, Coffee, or Ko-Fi, whatever it's called, or just PayPal my ass. It's in the description. The links should work. If they don't, please tell me, or whatever. Okay? That kind of shit helps a lot. Trust me, man. Like, I'm trying to do this for a living, and there's nobody else working on this shit as much, except for maybe Joanna. And Joanna is interesting because I have teamed up with her real quick just to show it. I have teamed up with her in order to do a group coaching slash support group on Saturdays at noon PST, and you can sign up there. It does cost money. I wish I could do it for free. I can't do it for free. She can't do it for free because, like, if our individual governments were like, here's money to, you know, fund a support group or some shit like that, and the people involved, okay, cool. But there's no such thing as that for schizoids. So, unfortunately, you know, it costs money to have us spend our time to do that kind of stuff. And we don't charge an insane amount or anything, and it's a revolving door, so you can show up for like 1 or 2 sessions at any point and not show up for other ones. It's whoever wants to come in and out of it, please sign up. I think it could be of use to you. If you're schizoid and you're looking for a place where you can actually have some communication, attempt some kind of communication with other people dealing with the same issues, practice some shit, ask some questions, do some kind of Gestalt style therapy via this sort of thing. But so in any case, well, yeah, at least the questions and conversations kind of are directed in sort of that way by Joanna, who is a psychological coach. All right, guys. All right, back to the stream. So please, that's the link. It's also in the description. You can click it there. If you have some money and you want some help, give it a shot, you know, and whatever. Anyway, so let's continue. Schizoid personality disorder is a serious mental illness characterized by an inability to form close relationships or socialize much at all. It is often diagnosed in early adulthood if you have recently found out that your adult child has this condition, and may explain a lot of troubling behaviors that have concerned you. Now that you know that the underlying issue is, you can take steps to help your child get treatment, development from positive symptoms, and learn to have better, more fulfilling relationships with you and others. It's just interesting that, like, because it says adult child, but I'm pretty sure you could probably see signs of some of this shit if you were to actually sit down and talk to them and listen to you know, people that are schizoid now that weren't diagnosed as like teenagers. All right. If somebody's schizoid, the reason why they're not going out with friends or socializing or going on dates or going to parties and enjoying them is going to be very different than, say, somebody that's like avoidant or somebody that has some other issue, right? They might have trouble explaining it, they might not have an answer for you, or they will have an answer for you that's a lie because they'll be masking. And that's definitely stuff I did. But point is, they might not even understand why it is that they decide not to do these things and can't partake in them and can't connect, right? The reason why the schizoid does it is fundamentally different than like the reason your average teenager, say, decides to be more or less introverted. Okay, it's very different, very, very different. Finding out that your adult child has schizoid personality disorder (SPD) can feel overwhelming and terrible. But see, that's a bummer, right? That has to feel overwhelming and terrible. But it also provides an answer. It can help you understand your child's behaviors and difficulties. What is this? That's interesting. I might click on that after. And now you have the opportunity to help them get treatment, make positive lifestyle changes, be able to function and live a fulfilling and normal life. This is a difficult mental illness, but armed with knowledge, blah, 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 blah. Okay. A diagnosis of personality disorder can come as a big blow, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's get to the good shit. Understanding what SPD is and how it affects individuals, you may feel a little better about the apparent coldness of your adult child. Their detachment is not your fault or related to it's just not adult child shit. Their detachment and not your fault or related to you at all. To help them learn more, to change some of their patterns, to help them develop more relationships and enjoy life more. Treatment is essential because people with personality disorders have a hard time seeing that the way they behave or react is problematic. Getting them into treatment can be challenging. Come to your child prepared with options of treatment. Push for residential care. What? Okay. An extended stay in treatment is important for the difficult condition. Explain to your child how treatment will help them gain more independence, be able to hold down a job, and enjoy being with people more. Although they seem uninterested in relationships, studies actually show that people with SPD are lonely. Sorry. Okay, okay. I don't like this article. I don't either, Dave. Okay. Okay, this is my opinion. I'm not a doctor. Okay. Yes, we are lonely. And they're clicking on the PDF. I've read that article. It's going to. I'm pretty sure it's the same PDF I've read before. Yeah, schizophrenia disorder linked to unbearable, inescapable loneliness. Okay. They're not lonely, in my opinion, because they're so desperately wanting to be with regular people and people out there in society. And they're just feeling like they're gonna get rejected. Okay. When you're talking about something like that, you're talking about somebody that would be considered avoidant. Okay. When you're dealing with somebody that's schizoid, there's going to be a more cluster A/schizophrenia spectrum type reason for why they're like this. And that reason is going to be because no one understands me. No one understands what I'm trying to say. I'm preoccupied with things that people don't seem to be prioritized or give a shit about. Everyone around me seems to prioritize and give a shit about things that don't make sense to me, or I cannot understand why it is that they prioritize so deeply, which is oftentimes, 90% of the time, the interpersonal dynamics, right? Interpersonal preoccupations, status-based preoccupations, sometimes resource-based preoccupations, right? Many people with SPD are like, I don't fucking get that shit. Why the fuck does everyone care about that stuff? I don't connect to anybody. When I try to share the shit that I care about, nobody cares. And you know, that might have happened since childhood, and it's gotten to the point where they don't even know what they care about anymore. Right? All that's just gone out the fucking door because of unintentional neglect or sometimes malevolence by, say, bullies or just abusive parents and so on and so forth. Right. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. I don't know what this is. I just clicked on it because I was looking for like the most some company treatment center. But like you often see this. This is the kind of shit you see for schizoid therapy. So okay, let's keep going. Participate in treatment. Okay, in choosing. So this is like this sounds like some kind of fucking inpatient shit, but it sounds like fucking crazy. In choosing treatment for your child and helping them select a facility, oh god, just that word facility just makes me like my hair stand on end. The best path to healing elastic. Okay, let's say family visit days. The most basic level of participation may be just showing up on family days. Oh god, the days of dread. Our days at a treatment facility may set aside to encourage family visit patients. On these days, you may participate in some guided sessions with your child. Family. Oh, I think adult child means, I don't think it means any of the stuff I mentioned. It might just mean that, like, somebody who has a child that happens to be an adult. Okay, yeah, that's true. I think somebody said that. It's just like, so once my daughter is, like, 19 or something, she's an adult child. She's my adult child. She's my child, but she's an adult. Okay. Maybe it's not as nefarious as I initially thought. therapy with family relationship therapy is an important way to help your child heal, your relationship grow. A therapist will guide you to learning. Dude, I would love to be a fly on the wall for some of this shit. Like, I would love to be the fly on the wall. I wouldn't, like, want to put it out there, and I just want to watch what this kind of fucking therapy looks like when dealing with somebody that's diagnosed with SPD, and they have to, like, be told that, hey, by the way, your perception of reality is all fucked up, and you need to figure out a way to change that shit. And because you're unhappy and you're miserable because your perception of reality is all fucked up, and we're gonna fix it. It's like, damn, dude. Like the way that sounds to me, like when I hear something like that. Look, to me, to someone like me, right? Okay, you might disagree, but to me, it sounds similar to like somebody that's like fucking gay, and then telling them like, hey, your way of perceiving like your sexual attraction's fucked up, and you'll be way happier if we fix it. Like, imagine saying that shit to an autistic person, like a high functioning autistic person. Oh, you know those things you have, like the meltdowns you have, and some of the issues and some of your concerns and priorities as an autistic person. Yeah, all that shit's stupid, and we're gonna fix it. And once we fix it, you're gonna be happier. That's why you're sad, not because we just said that. Jesus Christ. Okay. That makes me mad. That's it. Maybe I'm just getting too. But like I said, this is Schizoid Angst, right? This is my channel. I'm a schizoid, but I have anger when it comes to concepts, ideas, institutional shit. Like broader, more abstract shit makes me angry. I don't like that. I don't like suffering, unproductive suffering of this kind. It's cycles of bullshit. But anyway, getting ahead of myself. Okay, let's see here. Accept the reality of a relationship with your adult child. With your child in treatment, you may have high hopes that they will come back to you, the loving and affectionate son or daughter you have always hoped you could have. Oh, it's so fucking sick, dude. Like, it's sick because, like, okay, say you were growing up. Say you have a kid that's schizoid or some shit, right? It doesn't mean they're not loving and affectionate, man. It means they're loving and affectionate in a way that's less interpersonal or less conventional, and so thus you're not connecting to it, and thus they're fucking not having their needs and feelings met in any capacity, and you're thinking that you have a fucking kid that's just some cold, aloof, detached robot. Fuck you. SPD is a difficult condition to treat, and while treatment will help to make some positive change, your child may never be affectionate or as close as you want. Yeah, that's true. They might not be affectionate and close as the way you perceive affection and closeness has to be. Yes, okay, cool. Expecting more than your child can give you will be detrimental to your relationship and to the mental health. Step back if necessary and let your child change at their own pace. Yeah, because they have to change, right? Everything has to change. Avoid pushing them for more closeness than they are willing to able to give. In other words, meet them where they are and accept them for who they are and are trying to become. See, how about this? How about we just accept them for who they are? Work on some of the pathology that's fucking them up and making them sad. And don't try to make them become a different kind of person. Just... I get what they're trying to do, but I know there's conflation there between, and this is what I struggle with. There's a conflation there between who that person is and the pathology they're displaying because of the trauma they endured. It's whatever. One practical way to do this is change the nature of your relationship. Person with SPD struggles to develop relationships based on emotion. They are better at relationships that focus on external factors. Engage your child with non-emotional activities to spend more time with them. Go to the movies. Work out together. Try a new hobby. Or just watch TV together. Anything that doesn't place big demands on their emotional involvement will help your child be more involved and socialized. Jesus Christ. This is what I mean, guys. Okay. This is what I mean, okay? This is what upsets me. This is what annoys me. Okay? Right here. Go to the movies, hobbies, watching TV, working out, whatever, fishing, bowling, philosophy, intellectual pursuits, the study of insects, the study of weather, zoology, whatever. All those things are non-emotional activities. Guys. Okay. Most schizoids I talk to have emotions. They're not emotionless robots. Their emotions are oftentimes stunted. Their emotions are sometimes blunted in so many respects. They can't connect to them. They can't identify to them with themselves oftentimes. They have trouble doing that kind of shit, right? Those are trauma-based pathology reasons that occurs, okay? They have feelings. Their feelings are attached to very different things than the average person. They're still having feelings. I know schizoids that, they may be stoic as fuck in most instances, but the moment you put them in front of their media or the thing that they care about, all of a sudden they can feel an internal surge of emotions that they feel they have to hide from the world. Because the world will never understand or be able to comprehend what the fuck it is they're experiencing. Right? Oftentimes, that seems to be the case. These things that are being described as non-emotional might be incredibly emotional to a person of this type. And by participating with them in those activities, you might be doing something that they perceive as emotionally gratifying that a neurotypical person cannot. It's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Sorry, guys. I don't know who this BrightQuest Treatment Center is. I'm not trying to just shit on them in particular. It's just these ideas, man. They hurt my soul. If you're out there and you're listening and you're going, you're fucking full of shit, you're trying to fucking build a cult, you're fucking crazy, whatever. That's up to you, man. Don't watch my shit. I'm wrong. Whatever. But I'm trying to desperately work with professionals and people that are interested in order to find out if these ideas that I'm having regarding this sort of stuff are valid. Okay? Okay, keep reading. Be patient with your adult child. Change takes time, especially with a challenging personality disorder. There is no cure. Like many mental illnesses, SPD is considered chronic. Loving someone with SPD requires great patience and understanding. You may never have a close relationship you want, but you can have a better relationship. If treatment doesn't translate into big changes right away, don't lose hope. Even if your child fails, even if your child fails the first round and drops out, try again. What's the first round, man? Love to hear it. Treatment is effective, but it's a slow process. Your adult child needs you to be patient and not give up on them. Keep pushing for treatment and continue therapy. God, those are such loaded words in many regards, right? Unless you know the details. Schizoid personality disorder is particularly challenging mental illness. Someone with this condition has a very hard time realizing that the way they think and act is abnormal or damaging. The conflation is what kills me, right? Some of the pathological shit could be damaging, yes. But the abnormal shit might just be who the fuck they are. And because it's not conventionally pro-social interest or behavior or preoccupation, it makes it bad. I fucking hate that. This makes treatments difficult, but time and persistence, it can make a difference. You can help your child with SPD by providing steady support, meeting them where they are on their journey, and always pushing for continued treatment to manage this condition. That didn't help. Reading the rest of that didn't fucking help. The key to identify the activity that the individual is always passionate about, and then throwing the Zoid into a group of normies that have exactly the same. How about throwing them into a group of fucking schizophrenia spectrum people and other schizoids and shit that have the same interest? Then maybe all of a sudden they're gonna start going, woo, what's happening here? Oh, shit's happening. Oh, what the fuck? I'm confused. I'm scared. My pathology is getting triggered because because there's people actually, you know, connecting with me through values and similar values and priorities. Whoa, what the fuck? What the fuck? This is scary. This is fucking weird and different. Weird and different. Right? It's finally something weird and different instead of something mundane, the same, and constantly disappointing. What about that? What do you like? Weird, different, and scary over mundane, disappointing, and disassociating, alienating? Wouldn't that be? Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be a fucking fun thing? God damn, man. God damn. If you guys think I'm saying, if you guys think I'm saying any value here, please just post the links in the right places. Put it on Schizoid groups. Fucking give it to your psychologist and tell them, hey, look at this fucking guy. This fucking guy is saying shit that I'm relating to or whatever. Tell them about it. Talk to them about it. Talk to your fucking whatever Schizoid groups on Facebook or whatever the fuck it is. Post this shit. Whatever. Might be useful to somebody. I don't know, man. I'm gonna keep saying it repeatedly until this shit keeps fucking growing so I can goddamn help some people. Help myself, Jesus. Oh, my neck hurts just from the fucking stress of just reading this article. Okay, let's move on. Oh my god. That one was not fun. I hadn't read it before. I didn't expect it to be frustrating to read. No hate on that particular therapy group. Maybe they're amazing with a bunch of other shit, whatever. I don't know who they are. I just typed in Schizoid stuff, most recent, and that was like, I guess, a more recent thing. I don't know, but I don't know. It's kind of old, so whatever. I don't know why it popped up in the search engine. God, but it kills me, man, because there's like no differentiation between what the person experiences and cares about and the, you know, the more damaging aspects of pathology that they're trying to describe. Like, there's just no differentiation there, right? Like, so if a schizoid comes across an article like that, they're just going to think, oh, I'm all fucked up and my brain's fucked up and they need to fix it and I have to do a bunch of therapy and suffer a lot in order for them to fix it because everything about who I am and what I am and what I care about is all kinds of fucked up and it has to be like rewritten and reprogrammed and recoded. Like, bleh. Oftentimes the language they use and a lot of those things, like, it's just so fucking... The chance that you're going to find another Zoid that has the same passion as you is very low, hence normies with the same interests usually the only choice. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying that's that's a bad option, right? But wouldn't it be great? How about this? How about this, Dave Dog? Wouldn't it be great if there was better understanding of people that's you know, they're schizoid, you know, Australia, whatever, and that connect emotionally through like these activities and these other kind of external things and, you know, more abstract topics and ideas and categories and whatever, and that's how they actually get emotionally fulfilled and, you know, feel something. They don't need the interpersonal aspect in the same way. They're not as concerned with it. Imagine going to one of these groups of normies, as you said, and they know that about you. And so when you're there, they go, oh, that guy, just don't fuck with the interpersonal shit with that one. Just stick to the topics with him. Real passionate about it, real knowledgeable, knows what's up. Even if they seem like chill or kind of stoic, they're enjoying working with you or talking about the subject or collaborating in it. And they don't need you. Like, they prefer if you don't try to pry into their, you know, personal life or pry into, like, try to find out, get closer to them on an interpersonal level. They don't get much out of that, and in fact, it causes them some discomfort, and so on and so forth. Right? Cool. Wouldn't that be fucking great? And then when two schizoids meet, right? This is what's funny is oftentimes when two schizoids meet with the same interest, they start fucking connecting via the interest, like, you know, and because neither person is going, oh, I want to get closer to you. Oh, I want to be friends. I want to do this. I want to go do this, or start trying to talk about that kind of shit all the time. Because of that reason, they start, or don't push on certain things. They start actually connecting to each other in a way past the topic, which is like, wow, you're a person that respects my boundaries and understands my emotional attachment to these topics that we both are emotionally attached to. And then they emotionally, I know it sounds disgusting, but they emotionally attach via their emotional attachments to those things, right? And then they start kind of having, I guess, like a a schizoid version. There's a kind of an interpersonal connection, but it's very different. And that's good enough for them, and they feel good, and the parties are happy being friends in that way, or being close in that manner, right? Because like I like to see it like this, guys. Get two schizoids, right? And before you start like vomiting in your mouth, just give me a minute. Get two schizoids, put them together. They're both suffering from a lot of similar kind of existential concerns, maybe similar types of societal neglect and everything else, right? Now, time passes. They start communicating. They start expressing some of their internal world shit, concerns, and difficulties. Right? They start connecting via those channels. They become locked-in, right? Fellow sufferers. Danish, right? Yeah, I would mix it up. It's Danish. And then, one day, both of them decide they want to be next to each other and feel very sorrowful about the things that make them feel so much sorrow, right? The same way, like, two regular people would cry and lean on each other's shoulder, this, like, for other reasons, right? And the reason they'd be there next to each other and doing that would be for the, like, I would imagine it would be for more like the principle, the ideas, the sorrow that comes from dealing with such things, the more intangible connection that comes with that, that kind of shit, and they could connect via those channels and feel catharsis from having someone next to them, even if it's not physically, but having someone with them that is shouldering a similar burden and having kind of sharing that sorrow with them. I think that's really valuable. Just as valuable as people doing the same for interpersonal reasons. Your typical people doing it for like more conventional interpersonal reasons. Normalized reasons. Whatever. That's fine. Ridiculous. That those two things cannot be viewed as similar. I guarantee you, I don't know, some people think he was like schizotype or schizophrenic or whatever, but I guarantee you somebody like Vincent Van Gogh, would have appreciated another person dealing with the same shit as Vincent Van Gogh and suffering in the same ways, and then being there next to each other in some capacity, even if it's embracing one another, not necessarily physically, but if it is, so be it. And whatever they're comfortable with, and then just feeling that same sorrow, and then just going, you are not alone, you are not alone. That is a value. That is an existential validation. I'm not talking about status-based or other types of validation. It is an existential validation. And that is valuable because you really can't get it from a lot of sources. And oftentimes, what I find interesting is that the schizoid, even if they don't quite realize it, is oftentimes finding external validation via the medias that they consume. Right? When you're reading a book, watching a show, watching an anime, reading a manga, reading a comic, playing a video game, whatever the fuck it is, whatever stimuli or distracting media you participate in. I don't care what it is, whatever hobby. It's in some kind of parasocial way, it is connected to other human beings. Because that craft, that thing was developed by other human beings. The passion you have for it has been felt by others. It's been experienced by others, the interest, pursuit. And so thus, through that very channel, it is an existential attempt to connect to the rest of humanity. Even if it's in a way that your average person would never understand. That's fine, Dave. You don't have to. But see, and this is I guess where it makes some people uncomfortable. I'm not trying to do that, Dave. Why the fuck would you seek out to chat, listen to another schizoid? Chat where other people can see it, go to places, participate, do any of that. Or they're not something of value there for you. Not saying it's like a primary importance to you, but if there wasn't something of some kind of value to be had in said thing. God knows it's not because I'm so entertaining. There's plenty more people out there far more entertaining than I am if you're just looking for entertainment. In any case, I'm going to open up. Oh, I'm getting like really tired. I was going to keep reading articles. I don't think I'm going to read these. That shit taxed me, dude. I'll read these next time. I'll read these next time. I'm like taxed. I'm taxed. Like that fucking article just like taxed me hard. I'm seeking out schizoid forums and streams because I've never officially diagnosed or know any schizoids, at least anyone that has admitted to touch. Yeah. Same shit, dog. Same shit, dog. Same shit, dog. I get it though. I'm never gonna shit on anybody for their motivations. Whatever, dude. Good enough reason for me. Good enough reason. Keep it up. Solid shit. If you discover anything more down the line, cool. If you don't, whatever you get out of it. Whatever you get out of it. Alright, I'm gonna open up the live stream. So if you ever want to like jump on and like talk to me about whatever shit you want to talk about. My fucking neck, dude. It's killing me. If you ever want to talk about anything, stream, I'm in it right now. You join on Discord. You go to Discord, you can search for Schizoid as a tag. Discord, not Discord, but Discord is a website where you can actually search for specific servers. If you type in Schizoid, it will actually bring up the Zoid Void amongst a list of others. And the Zoid Void will take you to this server in which I inhabit. Okay? And if you go through the application process, you can go through as a schizoid. If you just say non-schizoid initially, it lets you into the annex section. The annex section is open to whoever is interested in schizoid stuff, follows the rules and things like that. But, there's people that are interested in it or other types of clustering and relate to some of the aspects of it, but aren't schizoid exactly. They don't deal with the same exact sort of issues in the same exact way, or similar way. In any case, but anybody can join me there on the annex/Burb. I hope you're out there, Burb, and you're doing okay. I haven't talked to Burb in a long time, at least like vocally, and I hope they're doing okay. So, in any case, you can join me on there. You can hop on the stream. and talk about this subjects, the stuff I've covered right now, or you can talk about whatever the hell it is. I'm gonna talk about. I can get two shits, honestly. You're talking to an optimistic nihilist. I can have fun with whatever you present me for the time being. Quote unquote fun. But I'm there. I'm there. Lippy, yeah, I mean, doesn't Greenberg say that one of the crucial methods of connecting to the Zoid patient in a therapeutic context is to engage to their art, hobby, media interests? Yeah, she agrees with me on that. I'm just trying to develop further the reasons for that. And it's not because they're so fucking terrified of interpersonal connection that that's the only way they can connect to another human being. Is real. No, I disagree with that. Okay, and that's why I want further research to be done. I legitimately believe that it's not just because of a fear of intimate connection. It is because they are not intuitively going toward it, even from early on. They are interested in other things, and that is where their emotions lie. Okay? They're interested in abstract concepts and ideas, and narratives, and stories, and whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know, broader categorizations of things. That's where a lot of their emotions lie. And if somebody wanted to connect to them emotionally, it would be via those channels. And it would be just as legitimate and just as deep for them. So, but they think it's just because, oh, we're so fucking scared of interpersonal connection. Like, that's why I'm so taxed from reading that. I get so fucking angry because, okay, like, you guys tell me, okay? There's like 13 of you listening right now. I don't know how many of you are schizoid or whatever. But, tell me this. Right? Tell me that you don't feel something emotionally deeper or stimulating or real, even when you're by yourself, to the things you consume intellectually or mentally or whatever, aesthetically, than you do to most people you ever interact with. Right. And were they to connect to that very thing instead of to the interpersonal you, but to this kind of more abstract sense of you or people that are connected to these other concepts or things, tell me that wouldn't be more of an emotional connection to that other person in a kind of indirect way than any kind of fucking communication. That would be just as deep, just as fulfilling as, like, whatever it is that people generally feel when they're just, doing, the social games that make them feel good and make them connect to each other. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying it's just not what I'm interested in. I mean, some of those games can be fun in the right context, with the right people, in the right safety and comfort, but they're definitely not the priority. They can be fun games, but they're definitely not, like, where my emotions are the deepest. Things that most people don't have. Yeah, I know. But they can. But yeah, you're right, Anthony. It's often not the case. But you know what? Like I said, that's why I compare it to, like, autism, right? It's not the schizophrenia spectrum. I compare it to autism spectrum because it's not about, obviously someone that's autistic is never going to connect to a person that's not in the same exact ways. They might connect for very different reasons, and they might connect to each other for different reasons entirely, but still connect to each other, right? Even if the channels are different, and that's okay, right? The way, like, if I cared, like, let's just say, well, I do, but, like, when I care about somebody that's, I guess, what we consider neurotypical, they don't, like, I don't care about them the same way they care about me, but we know we care about each other, and regardless of the variation in which that takes, is irrelevant in many regards. That's one thing that makes certain things easier, right? Or there might be overlap in some kind of medium planes, like certain kind of areas. There might be overlap in where that affection can take place, and that's okay. That's good enough, man. It's good enough. And it's only until both parties are willing to accept that that's good enough can that occur. I'll tell you right now, the schizoid's more willing to accept the good enough over the average person, because the average person is expecting what they could generally get out of other people in a more normative way. And honestly, I used to resent people for that, but I don't anymore, because it can't be helped. When you're just a minority slash, like, outlier in the human population, what are you gonna do? Can't. I mean, there's a genetic predisposition. What do you want? What do you want? Right? What do you want? What do you want? The world to understand your experience in every way possible? No, it's not. It's never gonna do that. Would you like them to understand it in every way that they can make possible for themselves, like within the context of their own understanding? Yes, that would be great. Because then compassion and empathy of a more cognitive kind, which would be of greater use to the schizoid from neurotypical people, would be of great value. If anybody wants to jump on and hang out, you're more than welcome to. If Zoids struggle to connect and bond with other people but are still capable of it, would it be accurate to say that Zoids desire platonic and maybe romantic compatibility but struggle to find compatibility? I think the reason that they, like, in my personal stupid dumb internet guy opinion, I think the reason they fundamentally have difficulty is because the stuff they connect to and the stuff they can connect to other human beings via the channels aren't the ones that generally human beings connect to. Like, the average population does not connect to via those channels. Right? They can connect by those channels, but that's not the primary connection. And for the schizoid, it often is the primary connection. If that makes any sense. The interpersonal can be a secondary or tertiary connection method for the schizoid. Once safety and enough help and the pathology aspects of it are kind of mended, but I don't think that's inherently or intuitively their primary method of connection. I really don't. Like this is how I think about it, okay? I think most people that are cluster A, or at least schizophrenia, let's just say schizophrenia spectrum, right? Schizoids, schizotypals, schizophrenics, whatever. I think most people that are in that kind of realm of things, but I like to mostly stick to schizoids, schizotypals, because they share a lot of the negative symptoms. I think most of those people would be able to emotionally connect to another person a lot easier and more primarily motivated via their passions or interests in things outside the interpersonal, which would then allow them, if you were to connect to them via those channels, they might be able to connect to you on a secondary or tertiary method or channel that is less intuitive, which is the interpersonal. That is my belief. Right. But that comes after being able to emotionally connect to them on this level that I'm describing. I think that comes after. I think that's one of the differences. And it's very similar to, say, like an autistic person. If you go up to an autistic person, even if they're high functioning, right? If you try to just connect to them interpersonally, it might be uncomfortable. It might be too much, overwhelming, or stimulating, or just, or whatever. Right. Goodbye, Wendigo. You have to go. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for any support that you give, Wendigo. So it might be overwhelming for somebody that's autistic, high function. But if, say, you approach them or connect it to them via their special interests / hyperfixations, whatever you want to call it, or just their interests, whatever their, interests are, fascinations. If you were to connect through them through that, like, say, having a mutual understanding or knowledge on the topic, or a willingness to collaborate on the topic in a way that's conducive to their own efforts, right? They might connect to you via those methods, right? Via those channels. And they might feel emotionally connected to you via those channels, right? And then through that kind of primary intuitive channel that they are connecting through, they might eventually develop secondary, tertiary forms in order to connect to you more broadly, because, like, say, you're not autistic and they know that that's not your primary focus. That's not your intuitive form of connection. But in your effort to connect to them more deeply through their primary method, they might be willing to do the same through yours and then find something there. It's tough shit, because that's exactly what I go through. Or have gone through most of my life. And I think that what's needs to be discovered needs to be researched and understood. Because I think until that happens, these people are going to be held properly. That's my opinion. If anybody's out there psych and just says, you're fucking stupid crazy, the research shows otherwise. Alright, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Show up on my stream, give me all the fucking answers. Give me all the fucking answers to why these ideas I'm trying to espouse here are incorrect. And if there's not enough research, alright, let's do something about it. Let's do the research required to see what's happening here. Because I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. Something needs to be done. Been thinking about this stuff every fucking day for a while. And I want to see some change. I want to see some change. I don't care how long it takes me. I've decided to dedicate my life to this shit. So, hell or high water. Even if somebody out there comes out and does a better job than me, gets inspired by me and decides, oh, I'm gonna do a better job than this fucking guy, I'm gonna fucking really do it. That's fine. Whatever. Mission accomplished. If anybody out there is a YouTuber or does other social media or whatever and wants to participate in my efforts, contact me. Otherwise, any kind of support is appreciated. Like I said, Patreon, blah, blah, blah. Stupid fucking money that people need. Hate it. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate that I fucking need money. It's aggravating. In any case, doesn't look like anybody's gonna jump on here today and talk, so that's okay. Definitely not a problem. Yeah, well, fuck it, Dave. Fuck it, Dave. I don't care how big that fucking effort is. I'm gonna fucking do it. Even if it kills me. I have to. I have to. I have 2 kids, man. Like, what if one of my kids is on the same spectrum? Right? Their fucking dad had an opportunity to do something about it. I'm not gonna fucking stop. That's important. What if they end up like that? What if they're like me? What's my 11-year-old and my 2-year-old is like me? Beyond that, other people's kids. Other people's children. They grow up the same way, or are the same way. They keep being left with nothing. Keep being left with shit in their fucking hands. That needs to stop. Baby, that was a pretty good joke. That was a pretty good joke, baby. I know me and you disagree on like a lot of the advocacy aspects of this shit. But whatever, baby. I'm gonna do what I do, right? If I started listening to you just because you fucking don't like it, you'd probably lose respect for my ass anyway. Dude, that there's a lack of awareness and caring. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And there's a way to convince them to give a fuck. There's a way. But it requires a more concerted effort amongst other schizoids and other people dealing with this. It would require more concerted effort, which is asking for a lot. Understandably so, because making effort to build anything community-wise is literally kind of difficult to kind of do because it's associated with the trauma and the pathology that comes with it. That developed due to the trauma that comes with, you know, living in a hostile, incompatible society for those types of individuals. Okay. I think we're done here today. Next time I'll read some of the other articles I posted or have up there. It's just that one article already took a lot out of me. Too many thoughts going through my mind. Just from that alone. I know, that makes me weak. That's fine. Like, I could read like so much crazy shit, and it wouldn't take as much out of me. Okay. Thanks a lot for joining me, guys. I appreciate the efforts. I appreciate you jumping on and talking. Well, nobody talked, but, you know, chatting, whatever. Again, I need to promote this. Please, if you are a schizoid, person diagnosed schizoid, or even self-diagnosed, just been dealing with it for years, just decided, whatever. Yeah, it says it's some old BS, but Dave, that's an approach a lot of places have regarding schizoid, or schizotypal for that matter. Oh, you have a broken sense of what reality is, so let's fix it. In any case, I'm not saying all, just a lot. If you are looking for some support, some coaching, some help, uh, you know, we have two peeps. They're dealing with all these schizoid traits. One of which is Joanna, who is a psychological coach. You can join our group on this on the Mind Mastery website. She has her own channel, Mind Mastery. Look it up, Mind Mastery. She has her own YouTube channel. It's a great channel. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it. In any case, me and Joanna work together in order to create this coaching and support group so that you can talk with other schizoids more directly, more openly. It's a little more exposure. I know it's uncomfortable, whatever. It's part of, you know, making that attempt. Also, it does cost money. It isn't free. I wish I could do it for free, but there are no grants and there is no money supporting this shit. So we got to do what we got to do until that happens. If that happens, then it can be free, but it's not till then, because I'm trying to make this living. In any case, please sign up. Check it out. If you're a Patreon supporter of either Mind Mastery, Joanna's channel, or my own channel, you can get a discount via our Patreon. There should be a post there that can give you a discount, or just DM me for the session. You can get a discount on the first 4 sessions, I believe. And start joining us. Sign up. And if a lot of people sign up and we fill that up, then we'll make another fucking time, and so on and so forth, and we'll figure it out. But we're just trying to get some fucking help out there, guys. Let's do this shit. The only people that are going to help us are each other. As cheesy as that shit sounds. Fuck you. Alright. Time to go. Thank you for joining me, and I'm going to play the usual outro and bullshit. And as always, when day is dark, always remember happy day. Thanks, guys.
Please remember that when you feel scared or frightened, never forget the times when you feel happy. When day is dark, always remember happy day.
My